Hello there folks, Marshall here. Today I'm going to be taking you through the maps for Planetary Annihilation's 1v1 ranked Season 4. As always, a quick mention of the community discords. Visit the official PA Discord at the link on screen or in the description, as well as the PA Academy Discord. If you want to improve your PA skills, this is the best place to get in touch with the top players who will happily mentor and train you. Now, Season 4. Like the previous seasons, we'll have a prize pool with markers both at the end of the season and in the middle, with prizes of $100 being awarded to the top 3 most active players in each ranked tier, all the way from Bronze through to Uber, while the player who finishes in the prestigious Uber 1 will receive $500 at mid-season, but $1,000 at the end of the season. So there really is no excuse to not be playing in ranked. Get online. To the maps. Like with the preceding seasons, some old maps have been carried over, as well as a number of new maps injected into the mix. The map pool yet again sits at a total of 16 ranked maps, 8 of which will be familiar to you, while 8 are brand new for this season. Taking a trip down memory lane, Season 2 saw feedback suggesting that maps tended to play the same, paving the way for the current proxy meta. Season 3 tried to address this with maps that were designed around themes such as islands to expand to, choke points to hold, and so on. But now, with the new maps, we are swinging another way again, allowing for themes and unique map flavours, while also reducing the emphasis on lanes, choke points, and win conditions. I've worked hard on coming up with fresh maps, and I really hope you enjoy playing on them. Before we get to the new maps, let's have a look and see the old maps that are making a return, some of which have even had a revamp. Returning maps from Season 2 start with Bulkhead. After it was updated in the middle of Season 2, it had had a much more positive reception and deserves a little longer in the limelight. The challenge being to balance your focus on 2 main routes to your opponent, the short and more direct but less resource rich, or the longer, more convoluted route. Next, Singe. Popular in Season 2 is a large map with a number of avenues of approach to your opponent's base. This map features a number of winding paths between you and your opponent, with a few choke points and strategic elements to capture. I give up. Also, a larger map has a number of changes, including removing naval metal points and opening up the rear of the map to make it more appealing. On the other side, however, the air-only fortress has been completely removed along with the lava ravines. Grand Homie hopes that this will make the map less defensive and slow, while boosting pathfinding and gameplay fluidity. Riddler has had only a small change. The raised platforms on the rear of the planet have been removed, substantially opening that side of the map, reducing choke points, and makes more of the map likely to be contested later into the game. The lava ravine remains, however. Don't forget that this is a small, frantic map. Consider how you approach your opponent and take every opportunity to raid and harass. To the Season 3 maps staying on for Season 4 now. Echo. A large asteroid with large metal platforms between bases with a choke point into the arena. Don't let that buckle while also trying to fight over expansions over the rest of the planet. Don't forget the other metal platform which is dense with resources. Exeunt. A more unique design has 2 spawns very close geographically, but separated by long, narrow corridors between bases. Hold these while expanding wide from your base. Make sure you keep up to date on how far your opponent has expanded, and even try to box them in early if you can. District. A dynamic 2-spawn map where players will either spawn opposite each other latitudinally or on the polar opposite of the map. The playstyle you adopt will have to adapt slightly as the different paths between bases become apparent. Make sure your army is always where it needs to be, as hasty retreats and diversions can be tricky. Backbone. Season 3's naval map has a gas giant for extra resources, as well as a fair amount of land on which you can employ other options such as amphibious tanks. Just make sure that you do raid your opponent and try and exploit weaknesses in his choke defences. Perhaps the land paths will offer a backdoor or proxy artillery position. And now let's get on to the new maps for this season. Starting with Tyr, a conservatively sized lava planet. Expand far and wide. Try to lock down your expansions, but don't get too comfortable. Make sure you watch out for drifters and locusts over the lava. You've got plenty of build space, but also a few ways that the enemy can attack you from. Watch your back. Next up is Threshold, a mountainous planet with slightly skewed symmetry. It may take you a while to get your bearings, but make sure you don't fall into the trap of the mountains encircling your spawn. It's easy to do and has a good amount of resources, but you can get boxed in quickly if you don't lock down external expansions. As close to an open moon as you will find in Ranked, I can already hear PAG members celebrating the map that is Surface. Make sure that you use these deep and traversable craters to your advantage. Resource expansions are generally in the vicinity. Otherwise, this map is open and anything goes, so there's nowhere to hide. Ribbon. Similar in concept to Season 3's Maginot, but this time you have lower metal spawns. But 3 of them. Here, all spawns are created equal, so you have to scout ahead of cheeky early raiding parties. Otherwise, make sure you take as much of the central ribbon as possible when moving towards your opponent. Oh, and yes, there is a gas giant for a little extra economy if you've secured your proximal borders. Moment. A desert map with a spawn on the coast, but fear not. It is sheltered from naval forces if you can hold the cove while continuing to expand over the rest of the planet. The mountains will prevent cheeky leviathans trying to reach from base to base, so don't try it. I know you were thinking of it. Naughty. Fluviat is a large planet covered in trees. Yes, that means you can use combat fabricators for a little extra metal income. Otherwise, you will have to push out fast and hard to expand to distant locations and lock them down. Metal is not very clustered here, so make sure you keep on top of your enemy's army locations. Let's have a naval map with 2 spawns, shall we? Dear Hydri presents you with a choice. Would you rather be in a defensible position right from the start, but with a very predictable expansion path for your opponent to focus on, or would you rather spawn more in the open, with expansions that are a little harder to lock down from the start, but with immediate access to an island with safer resources and space to build other factory types? But you have a chance that your enemy chooses the same spawn, and so you two will be very close to each other from the get-go. Knowing where your opponent starts off is key on this map. Finally, our multi-planet system Shackle starts you on a lava planet that is small and frantic, but not particularly high in resources. Your early expansions may be tricky to lock down at first, but you can always move off-world to the metal planet Bond with vastly more metal. Alternatively, you can run off to the smaller desert moon Stonks, which has a lower resource count, but only requires 1 planetary engine for you to be able to smash your opponent. If you can build one before they can react, that is. Well, these are your Season 4 maps. I know that some of the older returning maps will be embraced. Meanwhile, I hope that the new maps are fresh enough that the total combination of maps in the ranked 1v1 pool will provide a variety of experiences for all skill levels. As always, feedback is welcome. We have a forum thread for it over at forums.planetaryannihilation.com. Now go and play some ranked and enjoy the new battlegrounds. Until next time, have a good one.